good morning, good morning. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And I'm a socialist, so hey, I just want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. And you know what I was thinking about yesterday while I was at work? I was thinking about how if, once you understand that we could federally legalize cannabis, and that could pay for socialism itself. Just the taxes off of it in every state, all across the country. What use would you have for the government? Think about what I just said for a moment. It made me so fucking mad yesterday. I was fucking pissed. Think about what I just said. If they just federally legalize cannabis, the taxes collected off the sale of cannabis would pay for socialism. And then what purpose would you have for the federal government? None. So what the fuck is this dog and pony show for? For real? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Anyway, listen to War. Many people ask, who are you? Where can we find and follow you? Understand that I literally have a degree in social media and used to be someone who posted consistently on social media. And I don't do that shit anymore. I don't sit and scroll anymore. And I've been saying, but now we're fully in the shit. Um, it's time to stop doom scrolling as War plays in my ear. Time to stop doom scrolling. Doom's here. As I've been saying, you got to control what you can control. You got to control this fight from the top. You have to get 8 hours of sleep a night. If you need to take a nap, take a nap. You are much better when you are perform much better when you are well rested. You fight better when you're well rested. You need to hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Dehydration, that's how you get heat injuries. It's how you pull muscles. And if you're gonna sleep right and hydrate, you might as well eat right. I'm a big advocate of wake up, protein, creatine, blueberries in a shake, suck it down, get in the gym, weight room. That iron don't lie. Good to go. And then you ought to like do your running and shit late in the day. You'll hit higher peaks. So I'm telling you to split your lift because you're gonna become even faster, become even stronger than if you did that shit all in a 3 hour window, which is what most people try to do. Most people try to do it all at once. I don't. This is something I'm trying to. Excuse me. That was a hiccup and a burp. You're welcome. I try to. I'm not trying to like be famous or anything. But I do think like some of the stuff I say will like outlive me. Um, like when I tell you sleep 8 hours, and then it's also like whatever you're doing during the day's got to lead you to good sleep, right? And telling you that you got to verify the cleanliness of your water, and the kind of time frame we're in, that's the biggest danger to you is like dirty water worldwide. I know it's crazy to even think about, Most people don't even consider their water source. That's the fucking point. There's a reason I'm like, start doing this now. Okay. And yeah, if you'll notice on my left eye, I have these marks. Pam tried to scratch my eyeball off yesterday. So my name is Jared Malat, and again, this is Justice's Waiting Room, which is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I'm gonna start posting the show on the internet. Good to go. So hang in there for just a second. Get to the show. Morning, Mills. Yeah, I saw Joy Reid got fired. That was pretty tough to watch. She immediately went on someone's show and was talking about it and bawled on television, and I was just fucking distraught. I hate racists forever. Should have just kept using Stop Project 2025. Should have just kept doing that. Anyway, look, I'm posting this here. I'm gonna copy this, post it everywhere else. Okay. Go to Twitter first. I don't even use Twitter. This is the first post I've posted on Twitter. You look at my profile, look at my posts, verify me. Let's see. The last time I posted, well, I mean, I've reposted shit. Doesn't count. There's Facebook, and here you can share that like that. I'll get you the Twitter link. I'm just gonna start asking for shares and get in the habit of that. When we build stuff up, right? Oh, I gotta like unlock my shit. What's going on here? Profile, more settings and privacy. No, privacy and safety. Yeah, that was great. Don, people in the chat are talking about Donald Trump getting crossed up by Macron. Yeah, it was pretty tough. I'm always afraid I'm gonna log into one of these sites and have been banned. and haven't posted in months. Okay. Hit up Facebook, Twitter, TikTok knows, on Blue Sky. We're live on Clapper, live on YouTube. I think that's pretty wide reach. Um, what's this morning's craziness? Oh, this morning's craziness is they're debating Medicaid funding today. And so they're gonna vote on that. Um, that's what I made my first post about today. Was about they're gonna debate that $880 billion, that budget. And that, one of the things I've learned is that actually impacts kids a lot. And so when you think about, like, look, I've been talking about ad nauseum uh the effect it'll have on the elderly. Okay. I've been talking about ad nauseum about I worked in this industry and it already wasn't doing enough. I mean, think about this. Think about this. It already had people on Medicare and Medicaid enrolled in healthcare that was covering their medication, and mid-year stopped covering someone's medication that's on Medicare and Medicaid. And when they go to buy it, the cheapest they can find it isn't a month's supply, and it's like thousands of dollars. So keep this in mind. It was already not working as intended. It was already failing. I've been saying the healthcare industry is fucking failing. Luigi Mangione departing fucking Brian Thompson was but the crescendo. Good to go. Like, it is only going to be uphill from there for the healthcare industry in the United States, and I've told you 33 of 34 developed countries in the world have socialized healthcare, and the same healthcare companies exist all over the world and are billions and billions of dollars in profit. So keep this in mind. They could offer you free healthcare, $0 a month, $0 copay, $0 for your medication, cover it all, and they would still profit billions of dollars. The amount of money that Americans spend on healthcare themselves is a drop in the bucket compared to how much profit those healthcare companies actually control. So they could absolutely give you free healthcare. There's no reason not to. Okay? So we already knew that. Okay? We knew this was going to have a big impact on our elderly people. But I'm starting to learn about all the programs for kids that involve food for children and medicine for children and hospital stays. Trimming Medicaid would eliminate some hospitals. And already it's looking like it's mostly going to be rural hospitals. So I just want to keep saying the leopards eating faces party started with leopards. Remember, the people most likely to need Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security are also the people most likely to vote for this. So you almost have some backup plan. You almost have some backup plan I didn't know about. Are the elderly going to band together and we're going to have a 70 plus circus? Is that what's is that what's going on? No, not necessarily mean in red states. I'm meaning the people most likely to be negatively impacted by a Medicaid cut, most likely to be impacted, voted for this. Think about the Social Security. People don't even want to talk about that. 77% to vote for Donald Trump, Social Security recipients. Yep. Hey, I'm not cold, I'm real. I just I don't feel anything. I'm numb. It ain't cold. I'm numb. I've done been saying it. I was saying it while I was working in it. This shit isn't good enough. What the fuck are we doing? People are out here starving to death and can't afford their fucking medication, and they got to choose between pay my bills or pay for my meds. I'm not impacted at all, y'all. I don't take anything. I smoke a little reefer, drink coffee. That's what the fuck I do. Drink water, exercise. That's what the fuck I do. I advocate for a healthy lifestyle. This shit is not impacting me yet. And like I said, I came to one of those harsh realizations yesterday. I was at work having a work day, and in the middle of the work day, I'm fucking pissed. Pissed. If if we just legalize cannabis, the taxes off of cannabis would pay for socialism. What use would you have for the federal government? What good are they if if we just legalize cannabis and like no restrictions? Yeah. You ought to be growing it yourself, creating your own strains, build a industry for yourself while you can. 77% of people on Social Security voted for Donald Trump. It's like one of the worst statistics to watch and watch the attack on Social Security. And it's the people that voted for it that are the ones that are horrified. And they're just like, what? You thought they were only going to take the black people's Social Security? Is that how you thought that worked? Nah, fam. Remember, when you're not from here, and the powers that be, the people that are having a negative impact on your life are not from here. David Sachs, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, okay? They didn't grow up here. They don't understand in the United States you're supposed to die gracefully, right? You're supposed to you're supposed to die with some honor. You're supposed to die well fed and well medicated and rested and looking like a fucking $1 million. And thank you so much for what you did for your family. That's how it's supposed to be. And the problem I'm going to have is the people most impacted by this, when they're gone, voting gets a little easier actually. So all these people that have voted against their own self-interest their whole fucking life, when they lose Medicaid and Social Security and they have nothing and they just die, remember that I told you that's who's holding us back. So it's a double-edged sword, right? On the one hand, of course, I don't want anyone to die. That's ridiculous. Want someone else to perish? No. Mm-mm. But if you just want to be technical, yeah. I don't know what saying I'm a Rand Paul fan contributes to the conversation, but wasn't Rand Paul like a pro eugenics? By the way, I did uh read something yesterday that impacted me as well. I read something that says well, I'm a socialist, so you have to understand the social economic theory suggests that taxes, interest, and rent are derivative of your labor and not worth paying. So I agree with that. Now, if we could just have a plan instead of saying shit, it starts by building the American Socialist Party. We're so fucking close. Um, so what I'm gonna do on Saturday is formally create like all the social media profiles for the American Socialist Party. Today, I have a meeting with my boss to enroll in the program that I sell at work. And then we're going to change our banks to, yeah, yep. The legalization of cannabis would pay for socialism. And then what use would you have for the federal government? You know, what if the government just gave you $500 every Friday? Thanks for being here. That's called universal income. Oh, and it's happened before. It's happened before. So yeah, I had that sort of like realization, harsh realization at work. Like, what if you didn't have to pay for healthcare? What if you didn't have to pay for student loans? Color for the party. So obviously, you want to be red, white, and blue, right? Um, if I had to pick, it'd be gold. Um, because I think it will win. You know what I mean? Versus red versus blue. I'm not about it. AI is trash. In fact, I used AI to help build out the logo for the party and couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do. It's not smart enough. So it could get us close. Couldn't make it happen. So, and again, I went to school for this. So, my favorite comment that I get from people is when they say, "You must not know how to use it." And to that, a healthy fuck you. Um, but yeah, AI is one of those things that I would use as like a starting point. Um, you can't really use it to check your work. It's not real good at that. Um, but yeah, it's a crazy time to be alive. The whole reason we're full of piss and vinegar today is because they're about to debate the Medicaid budget today. $880 billion. It's a big whale. Okay. Um, and the reason I'm hot about that is because again, it already doesn't work. Yeah. I so I'll tell you a story about cannabis. If you watched my video from this morning, um long story short, I started smoking when I was a freshman at Purdue. I had a car, and most people don't. When I became an Eagle Scout when I was in high school, my dad bought me a white S10. And so I had a white S10 Extreme. But it wasn't the actual Extreme. I bought the body kit. It was like $500 and installed it myself. And I replaced the pieces of the body kit as they wore out. And actually had that truck for a long time. For a few years anyway. Um, I was a fucking dare kid, yo. My uncle Frank had a drug dog, Arthur. Dude, I was the worst. I was religious. I was a fucking dare kid. My entire family's in law enforcement. I was the fucking worst kid ever. I would have fucking rat you out in a heartbeat. Oh my god, I was the fucking worst. Throwing people's cigarettes away and shit. And then I went to college. And then I went to college and started playing football. And when you get hit in football practice at the Division 1 level, there's no there's no painkiller for this. You just hurt everywhere. Like I could walk, I could run, I was a quarterback, so I was throwing the ball, but every now and then I just get clipped. Not ever hit full speed, but every now and then I just get clipped. And I would cry for 3 days. And it happened for about 2 weeks where I was just constantly I was just fucking sore. Oh my god, freshman year of college. I was playing football at Purdue as a walk-on quarterback. I wasn't even supposed to get hit. But like I said, every now and then I got clipped and my life was over. Oh my god, these we're talking about guys that played in the NFL like Jacques Reeves, Nico Kudavides, you know what I mean? People that hit people. Every now and then I just get clipped and I thought my life was going to end. And a guy that lived on my same floor, one day he asked me if I want to go for a ride in my truck. And I was just like, what is this? Is he flirting? And as we got in the truck, he had packed one. I was like 18, 19 years old. He asked me if I want to go to a party with him. He knew where a party was. Um, we smoked on the way to the party. We stopped at a gas station. That's where I had my first gas station hot dog nacho combo. Okay. Um, we had to go pick someone else up so we could transport booze to the party because I was underage. So we had to have somebody that was 21 in the vehicle that actually paid for this that had to so we could transport it. We get everything to the party, and I was so high when I got out of the truck that I had to lay in the bed of my truck. But then I didn't drink. I was just stoned out of my mind, looking up at the like evening sky in Indiana in the summertime. I was I wasn't sore at all. And I'm laying on like the Rhino liner. I'm just laying on a Rhino liner. It's not like it's comfortable, but I noticed I'm not sore. I'm not sore at all. Dude, I went and swam. I went and jumped in the pool. I was doing flips off the fucking diving board. I was like, what the fuck? Like, everyone I know's doing everything fucking else. Everything else. Hard drinking, fucking painkillers. Guys are taking shots. Literal shots. Toradol, I think is what they were taking. Toradol. Cortisone shots. You know what I mean? I blew trees. Deadass. Joe Tiller caught me too. Rest in motherfucking pieces. And said if his job wasn't on the line, he'd do it too, because his fucking knees hurt, his back hurts. That shit's illegal. But they know. They all know. They've known. They've just accepted it. No. So once I turned 21 though, full disclosure, it was always one or the other, but never both. I don't know if you've ever heard of spinning. Don't smoke weed and drink alcohol. Mm-mm. That's not. Nope. And definitely don't do that and drive. Can you imagine spinning and driving? Oh my God. Don't do that. Okay. So I learned that because I was a bartender that you can sip and smoke, but you cannot drink and smoke. So you gotta learn to have like a taste for other shit. If you're just gonna sip, you don't want to be slow sipping a fucking strong beer. It's gonna skunk on you and taste like shit, right? So unfortunately, it kind of broadened my alcohol consumption horizons because now I have like a wider palate, right? And I never was anything other than a social drinker because I was a smoker, because I was a doper, a stoner. But obviously I was on active duty in the Marine Corps and you can't do it. You can't, there isn't enough time in the day on active duty to smoke unless you're literally not doing your job. So I could have gone without it, I guess. But after I got hurt on active duty and got sent home, my right shoulder fucking hurts all the time. Oh yeah, while you're on active duty, yeah, they drug test all the time. You have a long weekend, they're gonna test you. If they find out you went a farther away. Anyway, so I come home from active duty and I go to the VA hospital and I'm fucked up. My battle buddy killed himself. Um, I hurt my shoulder really bad. It still really fucking hurts. And I go see this doctor at the VA, and it's an old white man, and he told me he's getting ready to retire. He just let me know. Probably won't be seeing us long. And so he sits down, we start talking. He's like, rate your shoulder pain. And I'm like, consistently, it's like a 7.5. It like hurts all the fucking time. And he's like, that sucks. And he's like, um, and so he asked me, like, are you drinking? And I said, I never really was much more than a social drinker. You know, I'll buy a 6 pack, not even finish it type of guy. And he's like, God bless you. And he's like, stay away from hard boozing. You know, and that's not to say I haven't gotten drunk or been been in a I'm drinking now status. Okay, so don't get it twisted. That when I tell you I was just a social drinker, hey, what happens 70% of the time is 70% of the time. But like 30% of the time, like I'd get drunk, shouldn't be driving, sit in the car type shit, sleep in the trunk, which is not fun. Never got arrested though or charged. Smart man. Anyway, so fortunately, I never really drank like that. I'd always smoke. I always had a 1 box on me or something. Um, but I, on the way home from the Marine Corps, drove to go by and come back because I had a doctor's appointment. Anyway, this doctor that's retiring from the VA tells me, uh, if if it's solving your problems and it's not making other aspects of your life worse, probably fine. And so he said, I can't recommend you drink, right? But as far as cannabis, they actually used to prescribe cannabis, and there's still people that receive a film canister once a month full of rolled joints, which are 1.5. So for the record, not only did my doctor at the VA tell me if it's working for you, you can smoke a little weed. That's not going to hurt anything. He was more concerned with my alcohol consumption and told me, by the way, they used to prescribe cannabis to veterans coming home off active duty that have PTSD or anxiety. Yeah. Now, the only thing I don't recommend is if you are depressive. If you're depressed, you're not supposed to take cannabis because it is a downer and that could cause you to want to kill yourself. But as someone that's like bipolar as fuck, like hell yeah, when you get low, yeah, you kind of think about that. But that's real life. Like I'm never gonna do it. That's not saying I haven't thought about it. That's fucking silly. I'm too attached to what's going on in the world and it being imperfect and me being like, I have to do something. I don't have kids that I'm fucking up, right? So I got to think like what is something that I can do? I can put myself in abject danger because I'm not hurting anyone but myself by establishing like the American Socialist Party. So for the record, if you ever wondered like what do stoners do, right? Well, this stoner has a degree, has been in college for in 3 separate decades, is hopefully, and I'm profoundly aware and also shaking in my boots, about to do the most profound shit ever. in little old Indianapolis, Indiana. You know what I mean? Indiana Members Credit Union is where we'll put the political parties' money in a little credit union. Um, and like I said, one of the things I want to do merch different is you can automate your merch through you could profit off your merch and like have official merch, but you don't license American Socialist Party. So everyone can just make their own shit, right? Like I've been looking at logos, like stuff to make a logo for official heroin addict. 6 years of rehab now claims she voted him. So I think she got brain damage. Yeah. I had a uncle, cousin James, when I was in high school. That was probably 15 years older than me. So when I was 15, he's 30, and I used to go stay at their house. They had like outside basketball court and lived on a pond, and you could fish and ate good, and I always smelled weed, but I knew that he couldn't do that and do his job, so he was taking heavy painkillers. And this is a guy that played basketball at the University of Kentucky, a white boy in the late 70s, early 80s, 78 to 81. And he got up to over 500 pounds, addicted to fucking the steroids for his back. Couldn't smoke the weed. Lost his job. It's been rough. And I've just been like, well, I guess I'm not getting any like high paying job. I'll just smoke weed and not live in pain. But yeah, I want to make sure I told people that. Like, I went to the VA. My VA doctor said they used to prescribe it. Where, you want to know where I was getting it. Okay. Is a consistent supply, consistent strength, consistent sort of mood, because obviously it's an illegal drug, right? You just want to make sure if you're using that you're not getting yourself into just the same pile everybody else is getting themselves in, right? But yeah, today they're voting on Medicaid, and I think that's today's the part. Trying to find it. Here's from Forbes. So, oh, by the way, it's working. Tesla stock down 18%. Um, Anti Elon Musk group goes viral with swastika ad from 0 to 1939 in 3 seconds. The group is also selling Don't Buy a Swastika. By the way, that's great. Don't buy a swastika. Oh, the AI of Donald Trump Sucking on Elon Musk's two left feet. I don't know if everybody caught that. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh man. So yeah, one of the things we got to do, the first time yesterday, the first time I've seen a picture of Gay Valmont and fucking Josh Wheel is yesterday and today. I have now seen both of those people's pictures for the first time as part of like the Democrats like take back the House plan, right? I still could not tell you what the Western Pennsylvania candidate looks like. Still haven't seen her. Still haven't seen her show up on major points in social media. And keep in mind, I like to think I'm kind of on here. I'm out here. I definitely follow like what the Democrats are doing, you know. By the way, the if you wondered where the Republican Party dies, arguing over feeding and housing and clothing poor people. That's where it just go where does the Republican Party go to die? Uh they die all over the bodies of all the elderly and poor people that they're willing to sacrifice for their billionaire friends. Mic drop. So if you wonder why establish the American Socialist Party so that Democrats can argue rule of law versus socialism as opposed to rule of law versus fascism where the fascists are the rule of law. Get it now? Wouldn't that be like better? Like I said, I just want everyone to have universal healthcare, education, income, and housing, right? And I think that if you're a socialist and whoever runs in your area that it's a socialist, they should be saying the same fucking thing. Yeah, I just want all of my constituents to have universal healthcare. And how do we pay for that? That's the first question they ask. How you expect to pay for that? By supporting the legalization of cannabis and making cannabis into a cash crop. Like we did corn, we could just do it with cannabis because hemp has a lot of really important uses. Oh, well, don't you think legalizing weed and giving everyone socialism will make them lazy? No. How do I know that? Because I'm a disabled veteran and a stoner, and I'm fucking a busybody. I've worked 2+ jobs most of my adult life, been consistently employed over the last like 17 years. I've maybe not worked two total, and most of that was spent working multiple jobs so that I could become a homeowner. And I'm a homeowner. And for the record, most of the people I know that I've ever partaken with, like most of the people I've ever done weed with, are accomplished homeowners, college graduates, make good money. Oh, they don't have the societal pressure to be clean all the time for any reason, right? Yeah, so we said it makes them clean sometimes. Usually what I do is I do it because it makes you feel good while you're feeding my animals and doing the dishes. It just helps me relax. There are times when you don't want to smoke weed, right? Like if I'm to give a speech, I don't necessarily want to come out there 3 sheets to the wind. What's up, bro? You know, you don't really want to do that, right? That's why I drink coffee, and in my eyes, coffee and weed's like the perfect combination of drugs. It's the perfect cocktail. It does all of the things. I can spin the ball on my finger. I wanted to show you because not everybody's in the how close we are on the logo. Okay, look. I'm going to show you where we started. Okay. This was my original idea. Okay. You got to think in terms of the Republican and Democrat logo. Like that. Okay. So you see that. You see that. And see, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Okay. And then AI could get me to this. Okay. That's how close AI could get me. Close. Right? You're like, oh, it's pretty close. Okay. So I'm working with one of our community members. Okay. Look how close we are. See, what we want is the star. If we're only going to use one star for we are all one, the union slash the First Amendment, right? So one is the most important number here, right? And then the only other thing that we're considering, okay, is all the other logos have multiple stars, and we try to think about if not one, just the one star in the eye. How many stars? Hey, what up, Cap? Oh shit, you want to see? Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta show the people in the. Okay. So keep in mind, I gotta show you the original, what we were basing it off of, what AI did, what an artist did. Good to go. So there's the original. That's what I did. See, I'm not an artist. That's what we base it off of. So when you look at that, and you're like, okay, because of that, yeah. And then here's what AI did. This big old hunking thing. Okay, close, close. Yeah, yeah. So now what I got to get my artists to do is let go of some of the features of the snake, like the lines around the eye, just put the star there, right? As far as the other lines on the snake itself, uh, we can work on those lines. But we need it vectored. So we need it to look like, I need it to look, I need to be able to set it beside the logo for the Democrats and Republicans, and people be like, what's that one? Oh, that's the American Socialist Party. Why is it a snake? Because the acronym is ASP, ASP, which comes from aspis in Latin, which is a reference to the Egyptian cobra. So that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to put a logo next to those logos that beats their ass. Eh? Oh, that's kicking their ass. And how are we kicking our ass? So for example, one of the things that you get to say as like a new political party that hasn't like done anything yet is we wouldn't have turned on the railroad unions like Joe Biden did, right? Like be all pro union running for office, but as soon as you get in office, fucking turn your goddamn back on them and then fuck up unions, right? Look at the Republican Party just fucking up unions and making them not worth a shit, right? And them be all confused as to what do we do? We don't feel like the Republicans have our back. We don't feel like Democrats have our back. Let's build the American Socialist Party and be unions first. Oh, Kat, you're sitting right there. Hey, so all that you really need to do is let go of the lines around the snake's eye and just put a star there. Does that make sense? Because you have such a detailed eye area that it's become difficult to get the star for the eye when it's just like let go of the detail. Focus on just applying the star. We'll we'll work through that. But yeah, I want you to feel creative, right? I want you to understand what I'm saying, right? I want to constantly be pushing out ideas for merch. I'm not talking about running a profiting company. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to everywhere I go, I see people that have taken ASP, made it their own, put it on their own shit, right? And then, it'd be cool if someone that made their own shit knew who I was, right? They're like, hey, I know you. Look at this. And it's like, that's badass, bro. And just so you know, the um, I want to make sure I tell you. So, what font do we use? And it's called Futura Extra Bold Black. It's the same font that um, Nike uses. You're welcome. I'll show you what that looks like too. Futura Windows is what it's called. I had to download it, but yeah, that's it right there. ASP, ASP, American Socialist Party. See how clean that looks? It's like the perfect font. By the way, that's what I went to school for. Was and that's what I realized in my life was like the most powerful thing was to be able to see. How about shortened by half inch pull mouth and 13 stars around 13 colonies? Shortened by one half, pull mouth in 13 stars and circle around 13 colonies. Cat is right there. Somebody could make the snake and somebody could do what is around the snake, right? Y'all can work together. Okay, I want to encourage you to work as a team. Remember, I showed you, I went to AI and I tried to get AI to make this for me. And again, it's just an exercise that it makes me realize like I didn't fuck this up. AI is not that good. It's pretty good. It's it's a middle schooler. It's a middle schooler. It doesn't know everything. It can certainly learn. It's not nearly as smart. Not nearly as smart. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, we were talking about mouth open or mouth closed. Could be mouth. What do you think about military singing the government's ball? It's fucking awesome. So, hey, uh, K Rush, can you get over here on the YouTube side and hook up with Kat and Kay Heron so y'all can work together? Y'all should trade info. Now understand, once you set your standard, like this is the font we use, this is the logo, okay? Yeah, because the problem with the donkey and the elephant is they look too passive. Yeah, but how many stars? Here's a pretty good link about the other elections. They're saying Elon Musk has uh, interfered with 7 countries' elections. People have asked, what has Trump and Musk done to hurt unions? Okay. Yeah, Germany's investigating him. Hmm. That was the link I shared. Kay Heron said, I'm Kathleen on Discord. I'll post a link to Discord. Ladies should get in the Discord together. Again, the reason I'm doing this, there's a rhyme and a reason. There has to be. If there's not, what the fuck? Why not just use AI? Is that the American Socialist Party, the American Workers' Party, should not have an AI generated logo. That's anti worker. We should corroborate. Is that even the fucking word? Cooperatively. Bethlehem Steel Plant in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Hey, I just want to make sure that I say this. I'm so fucking mad about this shit. So keep in mind, I'm not actively coaching. I'm not tied to any program right now. But there's an Indiana bill here that wants to shift more dollars from traditional public schools to charter schools, and it got approved by the Senate. It's a cash grab. The big thing about public schools in Indiana is that they have to abide by IHSAA rules, and this means that they have to feed your kids when they're at the school before and after school, in addition to providing lunch and shit. Like they have to fucking do that shit. Charter schools don't have to do that. So they just get to rip away the things that are like holding us together, all in the name of profit. The educators don't give a shit. Any of the worst attitude out of teachers I've ever seen at charter schools. Okay? I'm going to make sure I speak on that at length. Like, I worked at a charter school. They didn't give no fucks about these kids. They have them in there. I had them in there in the morning lifting, had them there as late as 7 o'clock at night practicing football and no food. I had to feed them my fucking self. Like goddamn Black Panthers. Literally, I had to entice kids to come in the morning and lift weights with breakfast. Either I'm cooking it myself on my little grill or I'm going out and get them food because they're not eating. Because the school doesn't have the school I taught at didn't have the lunchroom set up. All their food came from other schools. That's how charter schools work. They don't give no fucks about your kids. Yeah. As a result, my football team was the island of misfit toys. They literally had behavioral issues, all kinds of shit. My quarterback was dyslexic, had shitty vision, didn't have glasses. He had been cast aside from Cathedral High School, which is like the big parochial school in Indianapolis. And keep in mind, those programs get richer and richer as parents just say, I guess we're going to church here now. Yes, we're going to pay for you to go to school here now. Keep in mind, it's like $12,000 a year to go to, or at least it was. It was like 12 racks a year to go to Cathedral when I was in high school. I'm not Catholic, so I didn't get an opportunity to go. And we played them. My last game of high school football was against Cathedral High School. They beat us 68-14. Mm-hmm. In the driving snow, I might add. It was fucking awful. It was like we were in slow motion. But that's because even the difference between a public school and a parochial school, right? At a parochial school, they feed the fucking kids. Them kids are probably overfed. If anything, they're heavy, right? Jesus. Trump campaign got hacked. Ukraine's military spy chief says North Korea provides 50% of Russia's ammunition. Taiwan detains Chinese crude ship after subsea cable cut. The provocateurs are doing an awful lot of work to destabilize communications. Oh, and remember the USAID thing? Remember that? Yeah, that's gonna cost people too. It's just they're black people, so you don't care about them. And we're not tore up about that. But cutting USAID is just as deadly as cutting Medicaid because it will just kill people the world over, and specifically in places like Sudan. Oh, by the way, Elon Musk has substantiated some of his Hacker did it. HUD. Are you talking about the Elon or Donald Trump kissing Elon's feet? And it was all over the place. Yeah, I saw that shit. It's great. Democrats appear paralyzed. Yep. I want to make sure he keeps saying it. Democrats don't have a fucking platform. That's the problem. What do Democrats offer you? Look, what I offer is simple. As the founder of the American Socialist Party, we want to federally legalize cannabis in order to give the American people socialism. Now, what are Democrats going to do? What are Republicans supposed to do? They don't have a fucking platform. Their platforms hate. Nothing. They're defenseless, right? As the founder of the American Socialist Party, you never turn your back on unions. You know why? Because they're no fucking good to you after you turn on them and they split on you. And then they're only 50-50 to vote for you because you fucked them. And everything you fucking do matters. Platform of racism, yeah. Remember, the foundation of the Socialist Party is equality for all. This also means the equal application of the rule of law. Yeah. Old money, new money. The Republican Party's cratering on itself. The workers are organizing. That's what we're doing. I don't see anybody else running to the table with a platform. Yeah. I did my research on socialism. There's many different flavors of socialism, and one of the ones that has been successful and still exists today is called syndicalism, unions. Basically, the problem with politics is people don't want to run for public office because typically the people most well equipped to take those offices would be taking a pay cut to do it. So it's not worth it financially, which again, that's not why I started the American Socialist Party, is not to get rich. And you have to know not everything's a get rich quick scheme. Sometimes we need to focus on union membership. From middle school onward, kids got to have it in their brains. Whatever job I get has to have a union. You got to join and be a part of that union. And then the whole point with having the American Socialist Party is getting socialists in charge at unions so that they have experience collective bargaining. They have experience with give and take with senior leadership at corporations. Why? Because you're going to fucking need it as a politician. You're going to need the experience of being able to work with people across the aisle that don't look like you, feel like you, type shit. And that's how you continually funnel good candidates for your party, by being super pro union, which is called syndicalism, which is prominent, like the most prominent form of socialism in all of the world. Canada, France, like you just name a successful country in the world, they have a major workers' party or socialist party. Okay. And you can never turn your back on unions because if you do, you lose everything. Oh, yeah. Because the Democrats are powerless. They have no platform. Their platform is "We are not the Republicans." That's been their platform. My whole life. My whole life. hmm But yeah, I woke up today and saw Tesla's stock down 18%. That makes me feel like I'm a part of the a movement because I'd been saying um, Elon Musk was worried about people abandoning Tesla because what it would mean is that he could go bankrupt. He would default on all his loans if he did that. If that happened, and for the this stock to drop 18% overnight after you find that out, hey, like everything does matter. Like how people feel about consumer confidence is everything, right? If people are like willing to bet on you or buy into what you're talking about, your idea. hmm Fucking Dan Bonjingo. Holy shit, that cokehead. Did you see him all coked up in that red t-shirt talking about your rule of law, ha ha ha, it's about power and shit? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Why do you think they're doing executive orders and presidential orders? I'll tell you. It's because Donald Trump thinks he has immunity, meaning anything he says is immune from any executive order. He just thinks it's supposed to just go through. And when it doesn't and it gets declared illegal, then they're like, "We'll just ignore it." And it's like, that's not how that works, Don. So I just want to keep making sure I say this. President says A plus B equals C. Okay? He's allowed to do that. Somebody comes along and says, actually, that's wrong. A plus B equals D. You got the wrong answer. And he says, oh, hell no. A plus B equals E. And they come back and say, actually, that's wrong. It's A plus B equals F for fuck you, Don. And it doesn't happen. And so when he says, oh, we're just going to ignore it, how? How? Oh, you mean you're going to have Elon Musk uh, steal the money for the program that he's trying to cut? Freeze the funding? Oh, that we can litigate. Good to go. So keep in mind, something like 90% of his executive orders will never come to fruition. They're illegal. And I'm guessing eventually there will be consequences for Elon Musk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're gonna cut a little early today. Okay, so we got about like 5, 6 minutes left. Okay, because I have a phone call with my boss. Okay, to enroll my wife and I in a program. Did Dan Bonjingo, did he was he in the military? He's an NYPD officer in Secret Service. He ran for Congress 3 times unsuccessfully. Born and raised in Queens, Italian. Oh, he went to an all-male high school. Oh, that explains a lot. And he has had lymphoma. Hmm. Today is 02/25/25. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So let's get this eat the rich out of the way and get out of here. Okay. Well, Grand Slammer, but you know, Babe Ruth, you gotta learn how to relate. Oh, and hey, if you are out here struggling, barely making the minimum payments on your credit cards and payday loans and personal loans, student loans, you got over $10,000 worth, we need to be doing business and getting you out of that debt in the next 2 to 4 years so you don't get that lingering over your head in the long run. That's what I do for a living. There's a reason I got into this job. You want to talk about the most impact you can have on someone's fucking life? How about getting rid of their unsecured debt so they don't have that hanging over their head forever? Most of the people that I talk to, if they keep doing what they're doing, it's going to cost 4 or 5 times what they owe, and they're going to pay on it for the next decade plus. Or we could have you away from this shit in 2 to 4 years. So think about that. If your credit cards are about used up, you ain't got much room, cost of living's too high, call me. Look me up. Okay. I know somebody needs my help out there. Okay. Well, it's perfect timing. Hey, good morning. Yeah, as always, appreciate y'all from being here. I'm glad I was able to show you a little bit of an update. You won't be in no trouble. Yeah, have a good day, everybody. I'll leave when the song's over.